Welcome back to the Loner Ranger Radio Show. Bruce Woodburn, CrossCountry Mortgage. Thanks for tuning in today. I hope you're enjoying your weekend, getting lots of things done around the house and the yard. Maybe you're pushing that vacuum cleaner, the lawnmower, the edger, the blower, fixing sprinklers. I had to do a couple of them in the last few days. I think my neighbor's kids ran over them. But just things like that, working around the house. Then I think that maybe Michelle and I might cut out for a little bit and head over to the boat. But you know what? I got loan officers on call and I'm available. If you have questions for the Loan Arranger, I'm here to help you. I've been in the business for 35 years. I know real estate, mortgages inside and out. Other things I don't know anything about. But mortgages and real estate, I got you. When it comes to understanding money and leveraging money on how to make money and invest in money, I think I'm pretty darn good at it. For a 10th grade dropout, I've done exceptionally well. I tell you that because I didn't tell people that for years. I was embarrassed that I didn't finish school and never told anybody. And it was difficult. It was a challenge for me, but it made me fight harder. Because I had to make up for what I didn't have. And not that I ever felt that I wasn't as smart as other kids, but, it was a challenge. And losing both your parents when you're young presents a challenge, but it made me the man I am today. So I'm proud to be that man. And I think my parents would be proud of the things that I've accomplished. Even though I hadn't seen my mother since I was 15 and dad at 16, he died 8 months after she did. Poor mom died of cancer and dad had a heart attack with me when we were working on our boat in the backyard. It was very traumatic for a young boy at just turning 16 years old to try to save his dad with CPR. But I did. And he didn't make it. He didn't make it. And next thing I know, went from a normal kid with a mom and dad to having no parents and moved up to Canada to live with an uncle that races stock cars and owned a junkyard. How do you like that? So dad was a builder. Mom was a housewife, lived in a middle-class home in Maitland and went to live in a blue-collar, very blue-collar neighborhood where my uncle believed that everybody should do a little jail time just to get some experience. I like Uncle Bill. I don't think my mom and dad would have approved of that. So anyway, I only tell you that because it's where I come from. I don't come from a place of wealth and I didn't have any support as a young adult. I didn't until my dad's friend, Dave Connolly, who I absolutely miss, God rest his soul, Dave and Gwen, he took me by the ear and said, you're screwing it up and we're going to get you fixed. And if you are open to having a better life, then call me. I'll help you. I'll help you get your finances in order, get your credit in order, and start on a road to success. But you have to want to do it. Maybe you got a kid or a grandkid that's going down that path. You got to want to do it, man. You got to want to do it, but it's not easy. It's not easy. But if you want a better life, there's a better way to do it. I think a lot of you adults out there that have college degrees are not doing it right either. I look at your finances, your savings. Come on, you could do so much better, so much better. But the problem is you want that instant gratification. I want that fancy car. I don't mind a $900 a month payment. I never had a mind $900 a month payment. Are you kidding me? Although I've never owned a new car in my life too. So I buy used cars. I mean, I drive a 2010 Mountaineer, for God's sakes. Come on. It was my wife's hand-me-down. But that's what I drive because I don't want big car payments. I don't even have car payments. I pay cash for them because I don't want a new car. Not that I don't want one and I can afford it, but I don't because I want my retirement. I want my savings. I want other things even more. So maybe you got that Harley. Maybe you got a Boston Whaler, but you're spending money on things that don't make you any money. Let's start focusing on things that make you money. You want some help? Call the Loan Arranger, 407-706-3313, 407-706-3313, or WeBringYouHome.com. That's WeBringYouHome.com. Tampa, 813-213-4009. All right, I want to switch gears. I want to talk about self-employed people. I know self-employed people are the heartbeat of America. I love you, but you got some problems. You're not showing money on your tax returns, okay? You're making all this money. You're not showing any money. So it's funny because I talked to a client when I was at my leapfrog class on Wednesday that was self-employed. And it's very common that a lot of self-employed people write off so much because they write off so much that they just don't show any income on their personal tax returns, or very little based on the actual money that they make. Now, my old wisdom was, hey, you should fix that and start paying more taxes. Okay. But then I did the math and I thought, for some of you, who cares? If your CPA is able to write off that much money and not pay taxes on it, then so be it. So here's what I did. I took a client recently. They made about 500 grand a year from their business. Okay. But they only reported about $80,000 a year in income. So they saved taxes on about 400, maybe a little more than 400,000, which would have cost them a little over $100,000 in taxes on a, 20-25% tax bracket. So I looked at that and I said, well, if you have good credit, they had excellent credit. If you have 20 to 25% to put down, then why do we care? So we looked at our bank statement program, and the bank statement programs are wonderful for you, but the interest rates are a little bit higher. Okay. A little bit higher. So we did the math. We determined that on a $500,000 house, the interest that they would pay per year more than a traditional conventional loan was about $7,500 a year. Okay. On a $500,000 house, about $7,500 a year. So I said, listen, let's do the math. Would you rather pay the IRS 110 grand or pay $7,500 more in interest? Well, they went, that's a no-brainer. I'll pay the $7,500 in interest. So don't let the emotional aspect get to you. Let's get down to logic and figure out how to make your life a better place. So now the responsibility, though, for people that are writing everything off is that you must save money, because you're not going to do a no down payment loan. You're not going to do a 3.5% FHA loan. You won't qualify for that if you don't show the income on your tax returns. So that's one of the things I wanted to cover today. Then we have investors buying properties that don't want to bring their tax returns to the table either. So I've got investors and foreign nationals that I do on my DSCR program. The DSCR, because I like to educate you, because you're smart listeners out there, is debt service coverage ratio. So the debt service coverage ratio loans mean that I don't need your tax returns. I don't even put income on your application. You got to have decent credit. You got to put 20 to 25% down. This is investment properties only, but then I can use the rental income from the property to qualify you for your mortgage. Now you put 30% down. I don't care how much rental income comes in. I'll avoid looking at it. So listen, these are great programs for investors, and we're doing a lot of them. But if you're an investor, you want to hold, great program. You want to fix and flip, I got the loans for you. I got products for fix and flips. Construction perm, you want to build your own home, you want to buy a lot and build on it, I got the product for you. You want to find a lot and build on it, I got it. I've got custom home builders that'll build you the nicest home you could imagine. I've got production builders. Matter of fact, you want to buy a home from a builder, don't you want to choose the right ones? I want you, before you go choosing these big builders, just look up their track record and look up their reviews. You're going to be sickened by what you see from some of these big production builders. You want one that's got great reviews? How about Southern Homes out of Lakeland, Frostproof, Sebring, Bartow? Man, we're killing it down there. They got homes that start in the high twos and go to the 7s and 800s for lakefront. High twos, entry-level homes. I'm telling you, these are brand new. You don't have to worry about the roof. You don't have to worry about the appliances. You got home warranties. They're block. They're not frame. In Bartow, Frostproof, Avon Park, you name it. that area of Polk County, I can help you with it. Then if you want to buy Groveland, St. Cloud, Mineola, Claremont, I've got properties with Trinity Family Builders. Now, both of these builders will pay your closing costs for you. Both builders will pay your closing costs when you use a loan arranger for your financing. So call me. I'll get you pre-approved. I'll set you up with the right builder. Now, if you're looking to buy a home and you need a good realtor, have you heard of my Loan Arranger Real Estate Rebate Program? Well, if you haven't, listen carefully, because most of you stink at selecting your realtors. You're selecting somebody that either from the sign or the open house you walked into, and they were very nice. Listen, I ain't looking for nice realtors. I'm looking for mean, negotiating realtors. And I don't mean mean personality. I mean, they're not afraid to negotiate for you. I had a client, listen to this. This is a true story. This happened this week. Repeat customer of mine. He's a pastor at a church. They've done very well for themselves, buying a high-end property. And their realtor was telling them to come in at the ask price because they had already reduced the price. And I told my client, I said, why would you do that? And he said, because my realtor told me. I said, is your realtor really negotiating for you or just trying to put the deal together because it's easy? She said, I don't know. We like her. She goes to our church. She's really nice. I said, I don't care how nice she is. Is she going to negotiating or you just don't care about your money? Well, he said, well, of course we care about our money. I said, then here's how I would negotiate that deal. I came in $50,000 under and asked for $30,000 in closing costs. They got $30,000 under and $30,000 in closing costs. They called me and said, I'm glad we listened to you, Bruce. Listen, you want a good realtor? Let me help you choose the right realtor. Now, when you use my realtor, they will give you 25% of the buy side commission back to use towards closing costs. You have everything to win and you have nothing to lose. You get a great realtor. They don't pay me a dime for that referral. I do it because I know the deals are going to go smoother, that you're going to have a better negotiator. You're going to get a better deal. Now, listen, before I refer you out to a realtor, you have to go through my full approval process. Why? Because I need to position you as close to being a cash buyer as I can. Because once you go through my process for fast track, ask for fast track. Write that down. Fast track. Fast track is not a pre-approval. It's a full underwritten approval before you go even looking for a home. Why? Because it gives you a better opportunity to negotiate. You're already underwritten your loan. You're not pre-approved by a loan officer. You're underwritten by an underwriter. So that gives me an ability to close in as little as 10 days. It allows me to call the seller and guarantee the seller, if I don't close your loan on time, I'll pay the seller up to $500 a day for every day I miss the closing. Will your bank do that? Will Rocket do that? Will Navy Federal do that? Will your credit union do that? No, none of them are going to do that. Why? Because they'll miss a closing and they won't blink an eye. No, I'm sorry, we can't close that soon. Go to Wells Fargo, Bank of America. They'll miss your closing every time. Chase, they're horrible, 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 Truist, terrible, terrible. So you want a good lender, go to somebody that's all I do is lend. And believe me, you're not, if you didn't get results, you didn't get return phone calls, you didn't get something on my team, you let me know immediately. I will fix that problem right now. I run a tight shop. My wife is my ops manager. She's even tougher than I am. That doesn't mean we're not good to our people. We love our employees and we're looking for more. We need loan officers. We need loan officer assistants. We need processors, bilingual preferably. But listen, we run a tight shop because we have to deliver a high level of service to you or else my Google reviews go to hell in a handbasket. I need high Google reviews. I need you guys to find me online. I need people to find me on my podcast. If I got crappy reviews, you're not going to call me back. I got great reviews. Check me out on Zillow. Check me out on Google. Check me out on Yelp. Everything's high because you get a high level of service. Now, that doesn't mean I've never had a complaint. I've had complaints. Get complaints. Yeah, I had a complaint the other day that my client was mad because my processor went on vacation. She went on a cruise. I'm like, okay, I have somebody else. Your loan's not going to suffer. You're going to get somebody else. Wow, I wish you wouldn't have gone on vacation while I was in the middle of my loan. I'm sorry. I think that vacation was planned long before you bought that house. But is your loan suffering? No. Is it going to close on time? Yes. Did I get you a great real estate agent? Yes. Did they give you a real estate rebate? Yes. Did I get you the last hometown heroes that existed? Yes. Listen, I'm going to take care of my customers because you're important to me. Now, he called and complained, but what happened was he called and apologized for complaining. That's what he did.